Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi, Seal. How you doing?
Doing all right this morning. Thank you. We didn't have to rush to another location like last time, so things are much easier.
That's right. You had plenty of time to set up the plants and do all that, right?
Well, the plans were already set up, so that was not this morning, luckily. It's good to
Very
see
good.
you.
Yeah, you as well. It's good to feel all of the people on this live stream.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like we have
Yeah,
some
thank
new
you.
people as well.
Yeah, thank you all for joining. All of you that are already familiar with our work and Ascension One as a community, and all of you that are coming maybe newly into this work, either by a referral of a friend, a family member, or coming through social media. Who knows? Many paths lead here to a transmission like this, a life experience. And I think it's a great and special opportunity to sit together in a transmission, and I'm putting myself into it because I'm in the same boat as all of you are. I'm basically an observer to what's coming through in terms of energy and in terms of wisdom. So it's quite beautiful, and I hope those of you that are experiencing this the first time will have a great experience.
Hmm.
So, Crystal, what are we preparing for?
Well, I think today we're going to be talking about internal alignment in preparation for our level up workshop that's happening we're going to be together in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming up very soon.
Yeah, so 2 Saturdays from now we'll be together, either gathered virtually or gathered in person in Lake Tahoe, California.
Hmm. And it's still not too late. So if some of you want to come in person, we still have some spots left.
Hmm.
And obviously, we have unlimited spots virtually. So
That's
you
right.
can do it from the comfort of your home if you haven't signed up yet.
Yeah, and this is also something that will be available via replay instantaneously. So, for those of you who are in a time zone where it doesn't work for you to be getting up and meditating with us and leveling up, and you can level up when at your convenience.
So, yeah, level up. So we have these three free transmissions that we're doing. It's funny, it's a tongue breaker.
Free,
The
free.
three free transmissions. Today is the second one, and the second one is more focused on internal alignment. So, should we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, why don't we talk about internal alignment? But before, I do have a question.
Yes.
So, because we did do this uh, last week, last Sunday
Hmm.
when we did it. We did it when we did it. And I was wondering because I saw you, for those of you who are new, you'll see that there'll be some hand gestures that the guide Asil to make. Um, and I noticed that you were doing some different hand movements.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so you were like anchoring into the ground. Normally, your hands are up here and then it goes up here, but there was a kind of an
Ah.
anchoring. And I
Hmm.
was wondering if you were aware of that, and if you were, what were you observing in the energy?
Well, I've noticed them do that particularly more often recently.
Hmm.
And the way I would interpret it and explain it is like, for example, um, I'm just going to explain a little bit about, I'm going to explain a little bit more about what's happening right in front of me when I'm
Yeah.
when they're working, on the entire group. It's a bit like they're setting up this energetic space and adjusting it precisely to the people that are here and to the people that will be here at some point in the future. So it's a little bit interesting in that regard because it also includes the people that are going to watch this at some point later, meaning you right now, whenever now is for you.
Right.
So, and this, it's like these energetic spheres in which we are all included, almost like in an energetic field that is beyond space and time, which is why this works, not in the linear fashion of time, but it works what we consider in the quantum space, where space and time doesn't really operate in the same way. So the adjustments that they're doing in that is for the entire group, but there's also some individual adjustments that occur. And very often, once the alignments are done and the entire group is synchronized, it's like this spheric construct is lifted up and is connected, in this case, all the way into the ground.
Hmm.
So the way I understand it is the metaphor of, you can only go as far up as strong as your roots are,
Hmm.
as strong as your grounding is. So, it's the same metaphor with trees or even skyscrapers, right?
Right.
The further up a tree must go, the stronger the roots must be in order for it to reach towards the sun, right? So, in spiritual work or in spiritual terms, it's very similar for consciousness. The further up we want to go, the deeper our roots have to be in this earth. It's not like, oh, I'm doing spiritual work, I'm doing meditations, and I'm just going to go somewhere else, um, and be out there. And then at
Hmm.
some point, I'm going to come back. No, it's really like the deeper the rooting is and the grounding is, the further up actually we can go.
Hmm.
And what happens when we don't do that? Well, yeah, trees fall. Or if you wouldn't have grounding and you would be like let's say you're a weather balloon that's going up, then you'd just be floating in that space and potentially rarely being down here or ever coming down. So it's, some of you might have experienced people in spiritual practices or in spiritual lineages that are just, they feel very ungrounded. And
Right.
for some that works, but it also makes them hard to relate to, hard to
Right.
connect to as a human being. What we want to do is we want to reach up as far as we can go in the spiritual space or in the consciousness space. And we want to be able to bring that down into this human experience.
Hmm.
So we can relate and we can talk and we can have a rich human life as a result of this, of these experience, of this expansion. So I think that's why the rooting is so important, and it is kind of like a grounding for that sphere of people.
Yeah, that makes sense. So rooting us into this human experience so that we can go uh, higher and bring that down to us.
Hmm.
Cool. Yeah, I just noticed it as different. And then I guess that really brings forth the inner alignment, right? So if we're setting up the structure, which I think is cool, that's like engineering, you know. It
It
makes sense.
feels very much like engineering. It feels very much like engineering. So, what I would say is it is part of the inner alignment. It's not the whole thing, but I'd say
Mhm,
it is part of the inner alignment. And again, my tree analogy, sticking with nature,
mhm.
is if a tree isn't aligned or its growth is somehow skewed by conditions, uh, even conditions outside of its own control, or you know malnutrition and whatever is going on for a tree. I'm not a botanist, so uh, when it reaches up towards the sun, it may grow crooked,
Mhm.
right? If there is no alignment, you don't exactly know how you're growing and where you're going.
Mhm.
And those trees that don't have exact alignment or perfect alignment might actually not make it in general, because
Right.
there is like might not make it as big as the other trees because they
Right.
have perfect alignment.
Right.
So alignment is a very critical element for spiritual expansion and spiritual evolution. So, which is why the guides that we work with, who you'll meet if you haven't met them yet, they speak about the internal alignment of an individual almost all the time.
Mhm.
And we're not perfect beings. We are consistently in interaction with our environment, with people, with our, you know, inner world, be it like thoughts and emotions and what we eat and all of that. And we're not always in perfect alignment.
Mhm.
That means if we're not always in perfect alignment, what do we do in order to get there? Right? So, how do we consistently have a practice or measures in place to strive for greater alignment within? Now, some of these efforts to get into alignment are, you know, um, maintenance, smaller
Mhm.
things of small alignments that I can do. It could be like, oh, I'm going to um, think about the situation a little differently today, or these are like small alignments. And then there is like the bigger stuff, like bigger alignments that we do, where one might actually feel a big shift inside, and through that big shift inside, the outside world changes as well.
Mhm.
So small alignments on a daily basis, and also bigger alignments ideally on a regular basis. Now, I believe that we have intrinsically something inside of us that consistently strives for alignment, anyways. Because nature strives for alignment. We are
Sure.
part of nature, so we are striving for alignment if we do something or we don't do something,
Mm.
right? But here's the caveat: a tree is not subject to um, a society that it has created and a mind that has all kinds of ideas, what it wants to do and what it wants to be, and so on. A tree just operates this nature's template. If we were to just purely be nature and operate nature's template, the alignments would probably work more naturally and more intrinsically.
Mm.
Now, we don't do that because we have a mind, and this mind consistently um, operates and consistently does um, the things that we think we should do because society told us to. So there's conditioning, there's education, and all of the things. There's work life and family life and relationships and all these incredibly complex human things. Where is the time for nature to do alignments, right? Is it in between my work Zoom calls and meetings? Or is it between feeding the kids and taking them to school? Like, where is the space for what is intrinsically within us to do the important alignments that we need?
Yeah.
And yeah, modern society doesn't have a lot of that space. which
Right.
is, which leads us to what the guides keep on telling us, that we have to create that space in order to give ourselves the opportunity to find deeper alignment within.
Mhm.
And Crystal, how it is. Like if I'm or you're not in alignment, or someone that is not in alignment, well, what happens? Like, how does it show if someone's not in alignment?
Yeah. Um, surprising, surprisingly emotional responses to something that was not intended to create an emotional response.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's the one that comes to mind
Hmm.
the most frequently. Is you're like, "Whoa, where'd that come from?"
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
And you and
other
I have experienced that together.
Sure, of
It's
course.
like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine. What's happening with you?
Hmm.
Why are you reacting this way?"
What else do we observe? If we're not in alignment, we probably are not making great choices either, because our
Mhm,
judgment might be skewed.
mhm,
Could be stress, could be overwork, could be like being stretched thin. So all these external factors impact judgment.
yeah. Life force being drained.
Life force being drained. Yeah.
Mhm,
If you're not in alignment, you're probably not taking great self-care, or self-care
mhm,
is like an important aspect of life.
mhm,
That also leads to, you know, it moves from, not being rested enough, and then potentially to not being well, illness, sickness, and so on. Right.
mhm,
So it
mhm.
can actually go into physical illnesses as a result of that. So, in some ways, everything starts with alignment, right?
Yeah,
So, well, in knowing that, what does it mean to do alignments? And how does an individual, a person that's maybe just joining, like, how do they do alignments? What does that even mean?
right.
Well, there are four elements to alignment. There is mental, emotional, physical, and emotional spiritual. Sorry, energetic spiritual. The energetic spiritual construct is kind of the glue that connects all of these pieces together. It's like consciousness, the energy body, and that has also its alignment that can get out of alignment. The mind itself, in a similar way, can get out of alignment. The heart, the emotional center, as you mentioned, can also get out of alignment. And the physical body can get out of alignment as well. I'm not just talking about chiropractic alignments, what some might understand, but also about, you know, resting enough, about um, proper nutrition, eating the right things, being in nature, all of those things, right? Things that feed a natural understanding of well being. Some people, and many of you here on this call today, on this live stream today, you have good practices. Probably you have some practices at least that are good for you because they feel good. Be it I eat well, I sleep well, I exercise. What else do you want me to do? Like I'm doing the things that I was taught to do. Uh, but I think there is something that is quite underestimated. And that is that space that we have, which we will have today, of silence and presence and awareness. I know some people are doing their meditations, and there is the meditation app craze. So people are doing their 10 minutes a day, and they're doing like, the 30-day streak. I did 10 minutes a day of meditation. That's great. Um, it's definitely better than nothing. But I do believe that on a regular basis, to have consciously set space for energetic spiritual alignment and a quiet space where the mind is quiet, the heart is quiet, the body is resting, for all of these pieces to come together into perfect alignment. In our case, we don't just do it by sitting silently, that's part of it, but we also do it in support with higher consciousness guidance. So we have guides that support us in making sure that all these little pieces of our consciousness, of our being, are aligned. They provide alignments for us. It's almost like going to the chiropractor, but a bit more, you know.
The celestial chiropractor.
The celestial chiropractor. Here we go. So it's twofold. One part is you take time for it. The second part is that we receive support from an intelligent force that is benevolent in assisting humanity in its current time of evolution. Yeah, that's what I'll say about internal alignment.
Mic
Now,
drop.
you might live a better life just alone by doing that. Your life will definitely change. We have accounts of hundreds of people, thousands of people that have told us that lives have changed as a result of this work. Now, there is something more that happens when we get into alignment. There is a bigger picture. The bigger picture is that if we consistently get into places of alignment, then there is an opportunity for consciousness to expand into states, into higher planes of consciousness in ways it cannot do without alignment, right? The tree that is not aligned cannot get to the closer to the sun, and it might be overshadowed by other trees, right? So as you can see, it's like when you find alignment, there is an extension, an expansion of awareness, and then an expansion of presence. And I'm sure you may have experienced people, and I mean everyone that's on this live stream, that feel really aligned to you. And when you experience someone who's really aligned, that feels really good. Like it feels like this person is in a good place. They have like a beautiful presence. They have a beautiful energy about them. And I want to be around them. It's almost like rubbing off, right? So, who doesn't want to be that person? Who doesn't want to feel like they are in such a beautiful state of being that people are drawn to them for many reasons? One of being you're leading by example. I can't put my finger on it, but something about you is different. And I like it. I'd like to be around that energy. I think if we have more and more people like that in our society, in our humanity, in our circle of friends, in our communities, what would the world look like? What do you think, Crystal?
I mean, It's just unimaginable at this moment in time.
It's funny. So that's why we're doing this work, because we really truly believe, and we have seen uh, the evidence that it makes a difference in people's lives. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to when we thought about this gathering, it was this summer,
Hmm.
and the way that it's actually taken shape just over the last month. It's really interesting.
Tell me more.
Well, we had wanted to bring people together because we hadn't in a while,
Hmm.
and we wanted it to be a community gathering.
Hmm.
But this idea of alignment hadn't so clearly emerged. And
Hmm.
so we've started creating this scaffolding. We're building this container, really.
Hmm.
And so now it feels a lot more exciting because it's not just an idea about gathering people, but it's also
Of course.
it's this container um, that's being built for people to fill it with their own, level up experience with their own energy.
Hmm.
And it feels powerful now. It feels like there's an impact that we are making right now, and that over the weekend, um, the impact is going to be much greater than I had anticipated, or it wasn't really a stated goal, that was the case, but I see it unfolding now
Hmm.
more and more as we do these pre-sessions and as we talk about it more.
Yeah.
So
And it's somehow
exciting.
that's always how it happens with
Hmm.
with events. We'll set a date, will a theme will be coming through, and then we don't really know how the what the guides have in store to
Yeah,
fill the timeline and the event itself.
yeah.
So we just create the skeleton, and
Mhm.
somehow divine intelligence fills the rest.
Right. Well, the divine intelligence fills the rest, and I feel like in this particular case, we're filling the rest as well. We as divine intelligence, right?
Yes.
In collaboration. So we're doing it together. And whatever emerges over the weekend, I just feel is going to be so potent and create some sort of impact, both individually and collectively.
Hmm.
And I couldn't see that very clearly when we started out.
Yeah.
So I think it's this collaboration, um, of everybody who's going to be there and virtually and the guides, that feels really potent to me.
And it's like people are definitely going to experience a leveling up.
Yes.
I'm 100% sure about it. I
Hmm.
definitely can feel it. This preparation that we're doing, including this session today, which we're going to start very soon, um, the transmission part. It's preparation that leads up to an important experience that is a culmination. It's almost like you're building up, building up, building up, building up to be able to reach almost like a new level that
Hmm.
then can be anchored, and you can access much easier, more consistently. And over time, it will be something that you can sustainably hold, because we've all experienced being in a good phase of our lives, holding a really high vibration and frequency and glowing. And then there are phases where we are really in the gutter. What we want is that we can hold these states more sustainably, more consciously over longer periods of time until they become our standard way of being.
Hmm.
That's what level up is about. I'm excited.
Me
Are you
too.
excited?
Me too. I'm really excited. Yeah.
Well, we have, I think, all the details about the event in 2 weeks are going to be shared in the chats.
Yes. Yes. And we also have, so we've got the event, and it's easily, we created a pricing package that's easily accessible. For those who are in countries where it's not easily accessible, or if there's any financial hardship, just reach out to us and we'll make it possible. It's meant to be something to for everybody to feel welcome in. And we have another one of these sessions, a session like this, the
A free
Wednesday?
transmission.
Yeah, free transmission. The Wednesday before we go into the weekend, so November 2nd.
Hmm.
And we have information about that event that will be posted in the chats. And then we're going to have our, for those of you who are new, we have a Saturday transmission every month. And so the Saturday transmission for the month of November will coincide with the first session of Level Up. So we have that experience that will lead us into the weekend. And then for those of you who are part of our community already, active parts of our community, and you are a pillar of light and service, which means you've completed our advanced level 3 summit course. We have a pillar of light and service day that's on Friday, and you are welcome to join that day. And then, of course, we'll be with our ambassadors who are our course facilitators, as well as those helping to build this energetic container and support us all in the community. We'll have that on Thursday, so it's going to be a beautiful build up. So to the week, to the weekend, and we also Asil and the guides recorded some meditations, right?
Yes.
Yesterday to help us prepare for this level up
Yes.
weekend.
So it's 3 meditations that
Mhm,
were gifted to us.
mhm,
One for the morning when you wake up, one for the afternoon, and the afternoon one ideally is a lying down one if you can find a space. It might be more difficult if you're at work, but you can also do it in a sitting, in a seated position. And the afternoon one is also a little longer and a long silence phase where these adjustments and alignments can be delivered. And then there is meditation right before you go to sleep. And it kind of acknowledges the journey of a human being through a day.
mm,
It's really interesting. And it's not as much about the words as it is about the energy that it brings you into to
yeah,
start your day in a certain way, to continue your day in a certain way, and to complete your day in a certain way.
mm,
So there is, you can basically see these 3 meditations as like, you know, opportunities for alignment throughout your day.
mm. And will that will it be helpful for people if they continue those meditations after the weekend, or is it just meant to be a
Absolutely.
build up? Okay.
I
All right.
definitely
Right.
think, I definitely think it's very helpful to continue them. They
Mhm,
are, in that way, they are established fairly generally, like
mhm.
in the words that the guides have used. So it's like something that you can do for as long as you want to. And of
Wonderful.
course, when we have courses and you decide to join one of our courses, there is course specific meditations that are
Mhm.
given, which you then switch over to those course specific meditations during that time and right before in preparation.
Yeah. Great.
All right.
Yeah. So those our production team is diligently working on bringing those to you, and those should be available early next week. And um, I assume they'll be available on the website or the landing page that we have for Level Up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we get started?
Yeah. Now that we've gotten all that out of the way,
Well,
let's.
and talked a little bit about alignment and
Yeah.
give people a bit more context. So
Yeah.
it's nice to do that, especially for those that are new to this work and new
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing your observations about what you see when you're in state and sharing that with
I
us.
wish I
So,
could just take photos of, or videos of what I see. It's quite spectacular. So words will have to do it justice, I guess, even though if they don't.
there you go. We'll
All
figure
right,
out some way to do it at some
let's
point in the
get
future.
started
All
with the
right.
transmission part.
Okay.
I'll
See
see you
ya.
later, Crystal.
Okay. Bye.
So if you're new to this, you can just lie down or sit down. You can close your eyes. Sometimes easier to come into a center internally and relax your mind rather than getting stimulated by vision. And there's spoken phases and there's quiet and silent phases. We'll let you know when it's over. Greetings. We are Elohim. The journey of consciousness evolution, represented by you, the individual. The journey that you have embarked on, the journey that you are consciously choosing, is the journey that will impact you, all of humanity, as a collective, and all of consciousness, as part of existence itself. This evolutionary process occurs naturally and intrinsically and operates in both conscious and unconscious ways. Yet, through conscious choice of being here, through conscious choice of receiving the gifts of creation, the conscious choice to find silence in this moment is what enables to accelerate your journey of evolution, and therefore the journey of evolution of humanity. Groups and communities like yours are a key to this evolution in human collective. The energetic presence and frequency that you can establish, that you can hold, that you can transmit has a true impact on all of humanity. While this impact on all of humanity may or may not be measurable or visible immediately, the impact is delivered. Most significantly, you will notice a shift and a change in the way you operate this human form. You will notice the way your thoughts establish, your judgments, opinions, and perspectives will become more clearly visible to you. And over time, these thoughts themselves will merely become reflections and observations, less so judgments based on past traumas and unrealized, incomplete aspects of your life. The emotions that you feel over time will become more naturally available to you in the appropriate time and the appropriate intensity to the moment of the experience. Overcompensations to relive past traumas will initiate strong emotional responses. This in itself is a natural aspect to be reminded that evolution is occurring and requires your attention. It is a reminder to quiet and stop for a moment. A reminder to observe what has arisen and where the roots of this arising pain, emotion, or thought might lie. It is an opportunity to reflect and to allow yourself to establish a new perspective on your experience. And new perspectives themselves establish realizations so that experiences of the past may complete naturally. Resting your physical form for a moment in time will allow the processes of recharge, realignment, and rejuvenation to be activated, allowing the expanded consciousness of your being to fuel this physical existence of yours. Is a critical element to operate in this physical form beyond what is merely observable to you, allowing the greatest alignment to provide greatest well being and greatest health that you can achieve and receive in this human form. The energetic spiritual construct, aspects of your consciousness, the energetic body that connects all parts of your being, also being aligned, allowing a greater strength and solidity to emerge from within you. This will naturally establish a greater trust in yourself and in others and this world, a greater confidence to walk forward with intention, a greater confidence to be seen, to be heard, and to see and hear others, a greater confidence to take care of yourself and all of those around you with great care, a greater confidence to step into service to all of humanity. This is the power and the opportunity, the potential that lies within you, the internal alignments that we provide, that you consciously make space for to receive, are a pathway to this great potential of yours. A pathway to the greatest version that you are. A pathway to the conscious creator that lies within you, dormant, ready to awaken, ready to serve, ready to create with love. Thank you for listening to our words. We will now commence with the adjustments. Thank you for receiving this gift of ours, for your evolution and the evolution of humanity. Our work is complete. Wherever you are in your meditation, you can stay there as long as you want to. There is nothing to do for now. You can stay in that resting state, in that expanded consciousness, until these adjustments and alignments integrate fully, until you feel complete. You can also replay this transmission again and again to get these adjustments, to even go a bit deeper with these adjustments. And you might see a difference as a result of that. Thank you all for joining today. It has been, excuse me, it has been a beautiful experience for me and for us. Is Crystal going to come back? Crystal, where are you?
I'm here.
Hey. Okay, good.
Hello.
Hi. How is it for you?
Well, I just kept thinking, if this is the pre-session,
Hold on, you're thinking? Don't think during the transmissions, Crystal.
well, no, I was thinking after. This is the,
I was just joking.
yeah, it's not possible to think during these things. If this is just the pre-session, then
Yes.
the weekend is just going to be, just
Oh,
hold
yeah.
on to your hats. Just so
Yes.
potent.
It is definitely getting stronger and stronger. And I don't think it's just, me or us as a community, but I also think that the energies on this earth are vibrating at a different level.
Mm,
And so there
yeah,
is more fuel available to those that know how to harness it and how to utilize it for
yeah,
this type of work. It's just going to get more and more interesting
yeah.
and powerful. So we're super excited for all of you to join us in virtual land or in person so you can get a proper hug from both of us.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, we're going to be at the North Tahoe Events Center in Kings Beach, California,
Hmm.
which literally our space looks out over the lake and the mountains. And we don't have a specific declared, this is a sacred site on any historical map, but we do know that Lake Tahoe has been a place for indigenous to gather for tens of thousands of years.
Hmm.
And so we know that there is an energy to it that
Absolutely.
not only we feel, but is um, very well known to be felt by those who are
Hmm.
tied to that land. And when you said the part about the earth energies rising up every time, and when I just reset it, I got chills. So it's going to
Hmm.
be quite potent and transmitted out to all of those who are not going to be there in person. Um, it's going to be amazing. And those who are joining virtually, we will have the opportunity during our lunch break to for you to gather virtually on a Zoom call so that you can meet with one another and share a coffee or a meal,
A
whatever it
virtual
is.
coffee
A
and
virtual
coffee
coffee.
emoji.
Well, they can drink coffee or tea or whatever it is that they wanna drink.
Yes.
Preferably
Well,
not wine
you'll
during that
get to
time.
meet the community in a
Yeah,
bit more intimate ways
yeah,
over Zoom if you're joining virtually.
yeah,
And if you're in person, we'll be chatting it up over lunch, basically.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, again, I believe that our production team is putting into all of the chats the link to the next session, the November 2nd, which will be our third of the pre-series transmissions, and also the link to sign up for Level Up. So
Hmm.
we look forward to seeing you all November 2nd. And then, of course, we really look forward to what we can do together on November 5th and 6th.
I'm super excited about it.
Me too. Me too.
Blessings to all of you. Thank you for
All right.
joining today.
Yeah, take care, everybody. We'll see you
Bye,
soon.
Crystal.
Bye.